He in the building, man.
You know what? He just got hired. Alabama A&M receiver coach, the best receiver coach in the nation by Sam Shea, and they about to put it on. So hey, listen,
congrats.
Antonio Carter, get to him.
We're in the building,
For those
man.
that don't know, I got to give a little introduction. My man, he was the deuce in my heart when I was in the capstone in the student section. He said AC Carter. We called him Antonio Carter. The man, Deuce. How are you doing, my man?
What's up, man? Hey, man, I tell you what, this is my guy, Smoke, man. I'm so thankful for him. I think he's a big reason why I'm still here, right? I know the Lord is Savior. He's my number one, but this guy here that kept me out of a lot of trouble, so I'm thankful for that. He wasn't no yes man. He the only one that snatched me up and said, AC, no, you're not going to do that. And so, man, I'm thankful for this, my dude right here, man.
AC, I got to ask, because I've seen some video footage, because I don't know if y'all know, but I'm on another show. You know, I do my show on Monday night with Smoke, but on Tuesday night, I'm with old Chris.
Talk a lot.
Talk a lot. And he's got some videos.
Chris James.
Chris James. I got some videos from y'all days at Rose Towers. He shared, and it's all y'all cutting up. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Smoke comes in, laying the law on everybody. Y'all got cars parked. People gonna get tickets. Y'all need to get out of here. I mean, he's just working at all y'all. So was he like did he keep everybody in check? Was he the hall monitor back in the day for the team?
Well, man, I don't know if you want to call him the hall monitor, but he was respected because they knew what they was getting with Smoke, right? Like he's straightforward. At first, it comes off as, man, who this guy thinks he is?
They call me a-hole, bro.
But he was. You may not like what he said, or you may not like the delivery, or you may not like I said, you may not like what he say, but that's what it is. If you really think about it, I mean, he's transparent, and at first I was like, this dude, get him away from me, but I love him to death, right? And then he was my roommate, so I had to hear it all the time, right? I had to take it in, right? He was like my dad or my big brother, man. I have fun the next morning. Man, why do you hang out with those bums?
Okay.
I can't believe you last night, man. Those guys you was with, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, who are you, man? Get out my face, bro.
So Smoke was 40 years old in college.
Man, seriously. Like, straight up, he would tell me, he was like, hey, see those guys you was with last night? Those dudes are bums, man. I mean, straight up. I'm like, what? This dude is crazy, man.
That's not hard for any of us to imagine either. We're like, yeah, well, sounds about right.
Every Monday night is Smoke.
But no, man, I'm so thankful to be on the show, man. The whole Alabama, the family, just me being a Florida guy, growing up a Seminole fan. Once I entered the state, once I entered Bryant-Denny, once I came up to camp, Ronnie Cottrell, Mike Dubose, Dabo Sweeney, all of those guys played a big part. Ain't nothing like the time. Ain't nothing like the time.
Yeah, he a big time guy.
I love this place, man. I wouldn't know this sucker, right? I'm just thankful for what Alabama, the door is open for me, man. A great education, great ball.
Education.
Yes, I got a degree, but not an education.
Got it.
But listen. I got a great education, was around some really great people, got to play great ball, and met guys like this. You can't beat that, dog. You can't beat that.
The only bad thing, it was pre-NIL. Y'all didn't get any NIL back in those days, right?
Listen,
Lord, thank you. I would have said them thank you. If I would have had that money, man,
you wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here.
Nah, he wouldn't be here.
What is y'all's NIL value? Go ahead and let us know right now.
Oh, my value, I'm 1.2, easy.
Okay. You've been thinking about that for a minute. That came out too smooth. We've been thinking about that for a minute.
I'm over a ticket. I'm over a meal.
AC looked up in that stands and saw those two jerseys everywhere and was like,
Yeah, thank you.
You know what? Dudes coming in, I would say the high names on our recruiting class. I was a bottom tier dude. I probably was close to the bottom in terms of recruiting early.
I was just about to say that.
And I would say Salim, Kenny King,
yes,
Mike Gaines,
yes,
Dante Ellington,
yes,
yourself,
our
brother, God bless, Santonio Beard, were the top guys in our recruiting class.
Right.
And damn near real good players. David Payne. But he never showed up, but David Payne.
Yeah.
Because we had the number one recruiting class.
Yeah,
Don't know if you were worth the mill out of the gate.
Yeah.
But after your freshman year, re-up.
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 But you heard that, right? But man, it was. I thought my value, my family would have been straight. I say that.
You would have, honestly, would you have budgeted any of that money?
No.
How would you have handled the portal?
But I think that's a common answer, though. That's a common answer. I don't think half these kids are budgeting it. I think they just get it and go crazy.
I was gonna get that money was spent before I touched my hand.
Yesterday.
Yeah. I done spent all that when AC, I'm gonna pay you $200,000 this year. That was gone immediately.
Yesterday.
I counted about 3 things. 200,000 would have went to in 3 months.
What were their names?
Yeah, that's one of them.
Listen,
bro.
We just got off the phone with Jimmy Lindsay.
Yeah.
He got the job up there, Western Kentucky.
Yep.
And we're shoe fanatics.
Shoe crazy.
When we was coming up, if the Jays came out on Saturday, we
had
them
Thursday,
rocking in the class. Because that was our thing.
Easy.
So easily, if we was getting what these cats are getting, the card game would have been stupid.
Man, the dice game. They shoot dice all night long.
Dice games are
I'm taking everybody's money, though nobody move but me and the money.
We had some legendary dice games.
Oh, you're talking about Rose Towers?
Yes. Room 321.
We had some good time. But man, I tell you what, ain't nothing like the time. Ain't nothing like the time. But look, all of this he's saying ain't nothing like the time. I'm a Florida boy. I love Alabama. I got my screensaver right now say welcome home.
So you telling me you weren't hopping in the portal?
No. We could have left.
Yeah, we could have left.
And we didn't get no money. Everybody it was the coaching changes. That's when that door was open. You can go anywhere you want if it was a head coaching change. I went through 4.
Yeah, you did.
I had an opportunity to leave anytime. When we was highs, when it was lows, I was injured, being lied to. I didn't know what was going on. I had plenty of opportunity to leave. Ain't nothing like the time. Ain't nothing like the time. So I love this place.
The crazy thing was just our bond with our
we had a brotherhood, like Shay, like us, like my boss now.
Because I remember when Fran was leaving.
Yeah.
And basically backdoored all of us. I remember Dennis and those guys they're our classmates, but they red shirt.
Right.
And I remember
he didn't tell y'all he was leaving, right? He just
I remember watching the Hawaii. We were in Hawaii, watching A&M. I forget who A&M was playing.
He go.
And his face was like this, glued into the TV. And I walked by and said, "Hey, Fran, what are you doing?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm just watching the game." I said, "Bro, there are some rumors going on that you're leaving." And he's like, "You know what? I'm never leaving." And
called us in his office.
So we had to go in and speak to the guys that were coming back next year to stick around and not to leave.
And he dipped on
him. And he backdoored him quickly. So that's the nature of the business.
Trying to hold it together.
Yeah, that's a lesson. That's a lesson learned,
man. It wasn't no leaving. We was in.
Right.
That's the kind of where these young guys at now. There's no commitment. There's no loyalty. There's no and this is my perspective. Like, you get those guys from the portal. They are great players, right? But there's no foundation, like B-Sci-Fi, like what that stands for. Them guys can tell you that, half of them guys, like what it really meant to be a part of that football program. You know, it's kind of what I can get out of the deal now, right? That's my personal opinion.
Well, let me ask you this, AC.
I think
is
you're
there
on.
something now that you're at a place like Alabama A&M, where look, let's be real, the NIL stuff and all that's not near what it is at Alabama's, these bigger schools. Is there more of a pure feeling of coaching at that level? Or is there a fear that, hey, I work my ass off, I go get this kid that nobody really knows about, and if I turn him into something, they're just going to say he's going to hit the portal the next year?
And that's both of those are right. But for me, man, it's about relationships. Yeah. I want to be that. I'm that guy that when they go off, they finish, whatever they do, they say, "Hey, Coach AC, I'm having my first child. Hey, Coach AC, I'm getting married." Right? That's what's important to me, man, that I'm a part of these young men's lives, bigger than ball. Football is just the door opener, right? Just for me, the opportunity to pour into them and building that relationship. And that's what I'm getting to. It's a relationship deal for me. So that's the most important thing over it all, but you don't get that much, right? So, but for me, at this level, it's about the relationships.
And for me, just looking at it from the pure personnel standpoint of it, my pitch to Coach Shea would be, hey, listen, it's easy. Tell them guys, yeah, get them in, and I'll help you go to your next best
There
school
you go. Exactly.
once you get in. All I need is 2 years out of you. Because if you don't go in with that pitch, they're going to leave any daggone way.
Correct.
So why not get that player understanding that, yes, it's only a 2-year deal that we're going to have them, get the best 2 out of them, and if they go on to Alabama, Mississippi State, Florida State, Ohio State, and Michigan, hey, listen, you did your job. But that's an easier sell for you, and it's a pitch and a recruiting tool moving forward for the next 3-star guy that wasn't getting recruited as highly in high school that can come play for you at A&M and give you those 2 dominant years. As for AC and Sam Shade, they're winning championships, SWAC championship.
Right.
That player gets moved on,
right.
and he gets to make money. But it's all, to me, in the evolution of how we're looking at talent acquisition and the way that you're structuring and building your team. You always have to evolve and be a forward thinker. Because if you're thinking behind of, if you come here, you can't leave. If you leave, you're not a team player. These kids don't think like we did.
No.
Like we do. Like we're old, gray beard men. I know.
Yeah.
Petty, you don't got no gray in yours. Herb, you don't got none of yours. But, you know, us gray beard guys.
I don't have kids. That's why.
That's how we think.
I don't have kids.
I figured it would be white.
Yeah.
AC, next to us, we got 2 special guests, as you can tell with us tonight. Herb and
Brian.
They got their own pod. Y'all got anything for AC?
Well, you kind of touched on it right there at the end, but let's say that does kind of happen and the player comes to you and they mention, you know, hey, I am going in the portal. How do you approach that situation? Because I know, like, I'm a petty person. I'd be like, whatever. So I probably would not handle it the right way.
He is petty.
To answer your question, man, for me, it's transparency, right? And that starts from the jump. Hey, look, right? It's more of a give and take. And it's not about giving and taking. It's about, again, relationships. So where I've earned that young man's trust, where I can say, hey, look here, right? You have the ability, you can get this, right? I can help you get this, but you got to help Coach AC too by taking your butt to class, by not having any character issues, showing up early, doing what you're supposed to do off the field. So now, right? Now you got some equity. Now you got some value. So, all right, you do what you're supposed to do. I'm going to give you something now, and this is what I can give you. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you. I'm going to tell you what I can give you and what you can make. And if you just trust me and give me a year, or give me this semester, whatever it is, whatever deal it is, where you've earned that trust and let them know, hey, if you do these things, and guys, I tell you, every time it's 100% once I've done that. Because I think these young men, that's what they want more than anything. They hear so much, they don't know what to trust and who to trust. So if you earn that between that relationship building, that's what recruiting is all about. See, for me, that's recruiting when you're building a relationship. I don't recruit, I select. Because I've done my homework. So if I go after you, I ain't shooting no blank, right? I'm like John Wick. You know what I'm saying? I'm like
so you
John
know what
Wick.
you're going for.
I'm not missing. I'm selecting because I have done the recruiting, the marriage, the building. I've done that. So I've got to where now, this is my wall, this is my board. I want them. Right. And I'm gonna go after that, right? Because now I've earned that trust where I can talk to them and like this. Real, authentic, and that's what them young men want, man. And you know, some look at it as and you know those, and those are successful, and some say, "Oh, he's just like everybody else," and you say, "Hey, right? It's not meant to be." So, man, I just answer your question is transparency, dog, from the jump.
Right. Does it surprise you to know that on this show, Smoke commands the most NIL money?
I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that. Now, I wouldn't doubt that. You know, he sometimes, man, he can get a little bit like, man, you need security for him, man. Right? Like he's the tough guy. He talks like he's, but man, you're not the tough guy, right? Stop.
You gonna have to, AC. You gonna have to protect. If me and Smoke come to Tuscaloosa after this last season, we gonna need protection.
Listen,
probably so. I wouldn't doubt it.
Listen,
I had to have protection.
Listen, quick story. So I played my whole freshman year with a broken left wrist. So I get surgery going into my junior year because I played freshman and sophomore year with a broken wrist. A lot of people don't know that. Broken left wrist. And we go out there and some dude out there running his mouth.
Yeah.
And I just saw Deuce. So I pull up to the spot and I'm seeing Deuce and dude running his mouth and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to get with this dude. And she was like, nah. He tapped me and said, listen, Smoke, I got this one.
Yeah.
He said, you got a broken wrist. Man.
Yeah.
Stepped in, squared buddy up.
Get up out of here, man.
All she wrote.
Yeah, that's over, man.
2 hit a quitter.
Security, man. We gonna touch the sharp as iron, man. I needed this guy. That was career-ending surgery. Now he already broke. Whether he can hurt it worse, I gotta protect that. That's value right there, right?
So yeah, he's been my security for a long time.
That's my dude, man. That's my dude.
Herb, we need to talk at our next budget meeting. We need to get some security at some point, man.
That was 20 years ago, though.
20 years ago. Hey, I was having a conversation with my nephew, and he was like, "Oh, man, I'll run through your chest right now." I said, "And you going to jail, because I'm calling the police. You tackle me or hit me anyway, I'm calling the police on you. I ain't doing for me chasing these young folks, man.
Hey,
I'm too brutal. Don't be tackling me. You ain't finna I say something, you going to jail, you tackle me."
Petty, two notes. Two dudes that I've never heard of seen lose a straight up knuckle drag out fight. Maybe two of the best pair of hands I've seen.
Man,
on an individual. I'm gonna tell you,
man,
Percy Harvin, Antonio Carter.
Man,
listen,
I've always protected myself.
Man, hands of steel.
Then when I felt danger, I protected myself. So I didn't pick no fight. So y'all don't listen to this guy. I can't fight, man.
You can't fight, but I've never seen you pick one.
No, I ain't gonna pick no fight.
Who would pick on you guys? And I mean, who would mess with y'all?
Well, you gotta remember, we the little dudes.
Yeah.
5'8", I'm 5'10" and a quarter. Like,
and we're a lot of mouth.
And a quarter.
And a quarter. I love it, man.
Before you see us. So a lot of people didn't like that.
So a lot of people like to get some liquid courage in them. And,
yeah.
That's what I was thinking. When
you're drunk, get to talking to them after you warn them, like, man, go ahead on, man. You drunk, go ahead on. You give them the warning shot, and then they get more aggressive. Now you got to protect yourself.
So, liquid courage about got me killed by Jarrett Johnson one night. And not because I was talking trash to Jarrett. He would have murdered me if I'd have done that. He would have but he had a recruit with him, and I had a bunch of drinks in me, and the recruit might have mentioned, I don't know why, we were at the venue, and the recruit said something about, yeah, I'm visiting Ole Miss next weekend, which was the wrong thing to say to my drunk ass. And then Joel Holiday, who was running the venue at the time, Big Joel, thank God he was like a guardian angel and loved my dumb ass, because he told me the next day, he's like, I saved you last night. I didn't remember. I was like, save me from what? Jarrett Johnson murdering you. I was like, what? He wanted no. And he's like, well, you were trying to recruit. He had a recruit with him that I started recruiting. And he was like, who's this dumbass? And luckily, Joe Holiday said, he's a simpleton dumbass. Don't worry about him. And thankfully, Jay.
Now the crazy thing is, JJ went through like a couple of phases in college. Yeah. Right. He went through when he first got there. He was just like me, the 3-star, whatever star that worked his way in and got respect. And that was freshman Jarrett. Earned it.
Oh, he was
then
tough.
Sophomore Jarrett that started getting playing time, and that was an angry guy that you probably seen.
Oh yeah, Jarrett knocked your whole head off.
And then you got Jarrett, the one that started going to church. Yeah, is a junior, and that was a holy Jarrett that wasn't drinking.
Yeah, he flipped.
So it all depends on what JJ that you got.
J2, I called.
I did not get the holy one. I got the one that was ready, the middle one.
Yeah, J2 get out. He was a Florida boy. See, me and him. We took our official business. We flew on a private jet together.
We all,
from Chiefland.
But we're all on the same weekend.
Same weekend. But me, him, and Mike Gaines flew up together. We went down to Chiefland and picked him up, and Anquan Bolden was on there with us.
So that was the last.
Anquan Bolden, myself, Jarrett Johnson, and Mike Gaines.
Yeah. Was that get Anquan to come on?
Ooh, no.
That pre-NIL.
I knew he was gonna go to Florida State.
Yeah, because he could
play
Mr.
Football. Yep, because he had the quarterback. He wanted to play quarterback. Everybody else was gonna move, which he ended up moving in 13 years in Super Bowl MVP at receiver. So
it worked out.
Yeah, it worked out.
A little bit. Yeah.
But at least they gave him 2 years at quarterback at Florida State.
It wouldn't happen.
Never happened.
Not Bam in the 90s back.
It wouldn't happen at all. He would have been moved immediately.
So this is the deal. Y'all get together every year and sleep over for the national championship?
That's it.
Hold on. Then you said like sleepover.
Yeah, we
like
do sleep.
Y'all get pizza and like go to Blockbuster and rent some video games and do all that shit?
I don't play video games.
I sleep over here, but it ain't next to this joker. He too ugly. This guy here, this is like my brother, man.
And
we have always stayed in contact.
Yeah.
Good, bad over the years, always.
We talk every day.
Yeah,
every day.
Pretty much. Like I ain't even think about it that way, but yeah. They talk to the joker every day. At some point, whether it's through text, call, whatever, right? And more. He'll call me, hey man, what you ate today? Like he'll call me fussing, like bro, like I'm in the middle of a staff meeting, I can be doing something. I answer, what you ate for lunch today? I know you're eating some fried chicken. Why don't you drink some water today? I'm like, bro, get on my phone, right? So some days I get that, right? Or just some days I just get, hey man, how you doing? How the kids doing? All right, bro, I'll just lay like, damn, you ain't asked about me. All right, then some days I get, man, Alabama's trash. All right, then I gotta hear that. Sometimes I get, hey man, what you gonna do this summer? I'm like, damn man, it's November. You guys gonna do this summer? I don't know. So I get up to you. I never know what I'm gonna get, right? I never know what I'm gonna get, but I love this joker though.
Well, Herb and Raj, and I think y'all can probably echo this, and this may be the saddest thing of what we're losing in this generation of college football is what we're seeing in this bottom screen is this, and you've seen it throughout the Bama Standard shows with all you guys that come back. I saw it with AJ the other night when Mike came on, man, he lit up like a Christmas tree when it's almost like you're seeing a brother you haven't seen for years. And when you watch as fans, you don't know how close you guys are, but doing these shows, we've gotten to kind of go behind the scenes and see the relationships that you guys have 25 years later. And I guess the point I'm trying to make, and I think you guys can agree for us that love it from the other side as fans, analysts, or whatever, I'm not sure that what we're seeing down here is going to be a thing of the future with these kids. I mean, they're not building relationships like you guys got.
Well, I'm not going to say they all are, but it's not as common.
Right.
It is.
Right, man, and that's what it was all about. Like you talked about transferring and leaving, that never crossed our mind. Like these are my guys. Like we did everything together. Like and we really had each other back. Like not just talking about no fighting. I'm talking about, like I tell you, this guy, like no AC, you cannot hang out with them. Right. No AC, you cannot drive. Like I mean, and I'm home yeah, right, like Rudd. Not use that for an example, but just like. Somebody did probably say it, but these guys would have grabbed me, picked me up. No, you're not driving. Or no, and not saying that no one did that. Like nothing against it. That was just I think about that young man because I knew him personally, but I thought he could have been protected a little bit more. Right. Yeah. Right. He did not have to drive in that car. Like, no. And I don't think these guys. I just that's the part that I'm missing. Like I don't want him mad at me or that's him. I can't say that to him or no. I don't want to get embarrassed. No, it's not about it's about him, right? Mm-hmm. That's what I'm talking about. Where it's not about you all the time. That's what team. That's what brothers. That's what friends. That's when I say iron sharpens iron. Proverbs 27:17. That means that, like, we are to sharpen each other. I'm not gonna allow you to fall anyway at all. It ain't about embarrassing you. It's about embarrassing us. Right. Because we're attached to each other. So that's what it means.
44 years old. We met each other when we were 18?
18 years old, 18, man. 19? 44. Just like, this is my brother. He ain't my friend. Like, my kids call him Uncle Smoke. Right. That's what they know of him. And that's important to me because my children mean the world to me. I can leave them with him. If something was to happen to me, they spent the rest of their life with him. I know my young people will be good. So, like, this is my guy. Nothing but the time, baby.
You know what? Just before we jumped off, I think Kenneth just asked a really good question. Said, what do you think of the Jason Jones hire?
Awesome.
You know what? Shout out to Jason Jones for getting
back in that's my bro, too.
And bringing back some tradition back to Bama. Because I always believe once you start putting a staff together, you always want to have connectors with either in the community or that's been with that program. And when you watch Bama somewhat this year, there's some of that still missing because a lot of those young people that, like we said, transfer in, transfer out, guys on their third or fourth school, don't truly understand what B-Side 5 means.
Right.
And when you have the Freddie Roaches there and the Jason Jones is still there, the Ashley Kimmel that's been there from the beginning in the recruiting department.
And was in school with us, understands the whole process.
With the
brothers
pride,
were athletes.
correct.
Right. So
of what the pride of Alabama is, you're going to see more of that back there and guys playing for more of the name on the front of their chest than the one on their back.
That's exactly
Shout out,
right.
great hire by Caleb DeBoer.
Great hire, man. Shout out to my guys. Well, I love you to death, Jason, man. But always been a big brother, another guy that in this profession, once I got into coaching, Jason would help me out. You know, he's been where I'm on my journey, where I'm headed, right? To that Power 5. I mean, this guy's been Ole Miss. I mean, you name him, Ole Miss, North Carolina.
So last time was at Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana. I mean, he's
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, Oklahoma. I mean, this guy's had a phenomenal career. So shout out to him, another guy that I competed with and understand. I know his pedigree, right? And what he.
With all that said, and we're gonna jump off shortly, Petty.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it. And I thought I was a darn good coach. I've coached some NFL guys. The best coach out of all of us that played at Alabama, Antonio Carter.
Wow.
Like to me, there's like
Wow.
Lance Taylor followed in his footsteps all the way from when you left as a GA, Lance took that over.
Right.
When you went to App State, Lance came so irregardless of where you're at now, we understand the journey that you're going to get to. To me, the best teacher, motivator. This dude just sat in the chair and brought straight 10 times more energy than I could possibly bring to anything that he brought. And that's just who he is.
Well, man, I really appreciate that. I love it. Ball has been good to me. I always approach that game to like all or nothing. So it don't change that now that I'm a coach, that I kind of play through those guys sometimes, right? And you build that relationship with them, you figure out what they can and can't do, and you push that and you go with it. So, man, I appreciate that from my guy. But I've had an opportunity to be around some great ones, too. Coach Saban, Dabo, I played for a great one. And Mike Dubose gave Mike Price gave my first opportunity. Coach Dubose, I've been around some great teachers along with my playing ability. So I think the world of that right there, man. So I'm going to keep pushing.
There's so many great athletes that don't always go into coaching, go into different things. What was it that drew you to coaching? Like, hey, man, I got something special for this too. I wasn't just a special football player, but I got something I can parlay and you know.
That's exactly what it is, man. You know, as a player, you play, you think you're Superman until myself, you know, I failed as far as my injury, right? And broke my leg, went through many surgeries, was never able to play again, but that wasn't it. It was for me, the game for me was to pour into these other guys. I use that now my ministry where I'm at in my life, right? This is my platform to teach and pour into these guys and tell my testimony to these guys because they ain't did half of the craziness I done, right? So I try to talk to them and reach them and earn their trust to where I can pour into them and be like, hey, man, don't let all your experiences be through an experience. I'm telling you, you listen, that stove hot. If you go over there, you're going to burn. Like, and those who listen and eliminate those distractions, man, they were phenomenal athletes. And that's what I try my best to do. I want to try to turn them away from destruction, bro, right? Whether they are great players or not, right? They still got some value. So I try my best to just pour and lead them the right direction. And when they do that, great athletes showcase themselves. But it ain't easy when you ain't distracted by the foolishness, right? When I have that relentless focus, I'm able to play ball at a high level. So that's the whole deal. So I'm thankful for that opportunity on this platform. Again, I thank you guys so much for what you do. I love the Tide, always will be. And this is a great show, man. I keep up with you guys. I told you that before. I watch. I don't comment. I don't really know how to comment, but I go in and stuff. I'm awful with these computers and stuff, right? So, but man, I love to listen to you guys and just for having my guy on here. So, again, man, ain't nothing like the Tide, man. Roll Tide forever.
Roll Tide, baby.
Before we give our final takeaways, which I think would be a good time, man. The season's over. This was the last game. We're about to get into the postseason, off-season stuff. But yeah, Raj, Herb, y'all got anything else for AC before we get to those final thoughts?
Quick question for both you and Smoke, man. Out of all the games that y'all played while y'all were in Tuscaloosa, is there any one specific game that always stands out as maybe more exciting, more intense than the rest? I understand it's football; they're all going to be intense, but are there any one game that kind of just stands out from the rest?
In Brian Denny?
Anywhere.
Overall.
Oh, well,
Overall.
For me, mine in the swamp, my true freshman year. Go back home to Steve. What people don't know, this is a fun fact. So Steve Spurrier, when I went on my visit to Florida, because I didn't commit, Steve Spurrier sent me and my mom, my family home.
Oh yeah,
He called me in like early, like you do your exit meetings when you leave.
Yeah.
But it was like I got to that Friday, I went out to dinner. So Saturday, you do your campus tour, you do all the good stuff, know about the school, talk. Like he brought me in immediately, like, what you gonna do? I'm signing one receiver. Like I got to know, like, put the heat on me. Like, and I told him I wasn't ready to commit, but they sent me home and took my parents traveler. Their mileage check away, which I don't know that. Hey, so
that would me though.
To go back down there in '99, they number 3 in the country, never lost in the swamp. I'm a true freshman, and I went down there and had the game of my career.
You had the game. You had the game tying touchdown.
10 catches, 119, a touchdown. True freshman in the swamp, first time.
There you go.
They
talk. I
get it. The Ryan Williams, 17
Yeah.
young. I get what Ryan Williams know. I got respect for him, but Coach AC was doing that too, baby.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna get away from me, and since AC is our guest, my favorite game of watching Deuce was our sophomore year against Ole Miss.
Yeah, I had 12 for 145, but I ain't getting the paint.
He rattling these off too, man. Like,
hey, there's somebody behind the screen holding the cards up and everything.
You remember the big ones. You remember the big ones.
So the crazy thing is, Ken Lucas. I don't know if anybody.
Ken Lucas went to the Panthers, cornerback. First rounder. I remember. Y'all talking to a half rebel here. I remember them names.
Man, he's still looking at the back of my journey.
And I'm sitting there and I remember the conversation.
Like, seriously.
Because that was Freddie's
junior year. I led the team in receptions that year.
And I remember because we're roommates. And I'm like, bro, listen. We got to get this thing going again. Because we had just lost, went out to UCLA and took an L.
Was that in Oxford in the rain when they had?
No, it was here in Brian Denny.
We ain't gonna talk about the rain game because we took it. That's the only time I lost the Ole Miss. We ain't gonna talk about that. Keep that to yourself.
This is the 2000 game. Wait, hold on. Is this one?
Yeah, this is 2000. This is 2000.
When Kev Bailey had the block kick.
Year.
He went.
My true sophomore year, 145 and 12, I think 11. I went, but I ain't getting the paint though.
The crazy thing is, we're sitting in the room and he's like, "Smoke, I'm gonna do him in."
Because they were playing all that man coverage.
He said, "Smoke, they play all that man. He can't hold me.
He can't do it."
And I'm like, "Dude, you should." I'm like, "Bro, they not gonna try to stack you, move you around, 1-5." He's like, 1-5 team. Man, Smoke, this is my team.
I told him straight. I said, "This is my team."
He's like, "Smoke, you the best DB. I'm the best receiver on this team. Go lock your man up. I'm gonna put a buck on him."
I told him, I said, I told them, I wanted to make sure that they understood when they were talking about this guy, first round of the best corner, this and that. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm going to show y'all.
That was 2000 in Tuscaloosa, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was living off Bryant Drive, and I was in the student section that night, and there was an Ole Miss player that got back to the locker room that night and did not have a helmet. And that's because a Sigma Chi buddy of mine pledge.
Look at that joke.
Took a pledge down the field, and they're standing on the field, and they're like, "Dude, we're gonna get on this field." He's like, "How?" He said, "Grab that box." So they grabbed a box and just walked on the field. Said, "Just act like you belong." Well, they're walking on the field, and this dude's helmet's just sitting there. They threw the helmet in the box and an Ole Miss football, which I got somewhere. I get home that night. Everybody's giving me shit because y'all just beat the ever-loving piss out of Ole Miss. Dude got hurt early. They went to Joe Gunn. Kev Bailey returned blocked the kick and returned it. Y'all just beat the hell out of them. You went off that night.
It was pretty bad.
I got home, and that helmet is sitting on my dresser. And I'm like, what the hell? Nobody for like 20 years told me where that came from. I found out like 2 years ago how that helmet came to be, that somebody stole it off the sideline that night.
Wow.
And we did not plan any of this
No.
conversation. Just to everybody know, I ain't playing none of this. This wasn't part of the production meeting.
No, this is all organic, crazy shit that's all full circle of life up here. AC, like I said, man, you were a legend in my circle, buddy.
In many ways.
Thank you so much, man. I received that humbly, man. Alabama was good to me. That's why he give me crap about it, but I absolutely love that place. I do.
That's good to hear.
Like, I'm thankful for my scars, but I love that place. Alabama's always a part of me.
Well, and like I said earlier, we can always tell when you guys come on here, man. If you're not watching, if you can't tell the camaraderie and the love that y'all built, it's truly special, and it makes you, even the fan part in you, come a little more. Final takeaways on this season, whatever you want it to be, Alabama, big picture, wherever you want to go. And Herb, I'll start with you, my man.
So for all the complaining about the seeding and the playoff rankings and everything that happened, the team that was the championship favorite the beginning of the year won the whole thing. So sometimes you just got to let things play out, and it's going to end the way it ends. We had a lot of comments, like you said, about how much they spent on their roster. I love that they did it, and I would happily be rooting on Alabama if we had done the same or any of the same. So we mentioned it. You gotta look at how you build your roster for the future, man, and you got to pick which players are important to you and how do you get to that next level. So no hate on them. Congratulations to Ohio State, and like you said, tomorrow you got to get back to work, man. For all these teams that are falling behind. I'm
gonna say the same thing that I told her when we were leaving Norman this year. I hate to bring it up. After we lost.
Why are we? I thought we said we were going to forget that trip.
It's the truth. It's the truth. After we lost 24-3, we leaving Norman, walking out of the stadium. The one thing I said to her was, I'm excited to see our offense in 2025. I think the offense is going to look a lot different next year. We already heard about our defense. We got a lot of returners coming back. I'm really, really excited about that, but I'm even more excited about the offense for next year. Unfortunately, the season didn't pan out the way we wanted it to, but I always have to remain optimistic. I'm always going to look forward. Always looking forward to see what we're going to do next year, and I can't wait.
You guys are touching on exactly what I want to touch on, so I'm going to spin it another way. And I got my shirt on right now representing Alabama A&M. And my final takeaway are for the new hires of HBCUs of my man D-Jack, Michael Vick, and Sam Shade, all former NFL players that are getting the rightful opportunity because what Coach Prime has done in the P4 level and what he's done to college football to give us former players the platform and the opportunity that we don't all have to go through the same channel, the same journey, the same road, to being GAs, to being analysts, to get a true opportunity to lead men. We're leaders. All we have to be is organized, lead, and be detailed, and have a proper direction of how we're going to get these W's and how we're going to help bring money to these schools. I'm just fortunate and so happy that all of us are getting the opportunity to go out and do the things that we love, and that's prepare our young people out there to become better men.
Well, man, that's
well said.
Well, I kind of piggyback on all you guys, man. It's all about relationships, transparency, as I said, trust, right, and displaying yourself as who you are, right. Not trying to be someone else, not trying to coach like this guy, not trying to talk like this guy. Especially with these young people, man, it's super, super important that you do that. And man, I tell you what, in the words of Nick Saban, you pay the wrong player, you're butt in trouble as well.
Ding, ding,
So
ding.
so KYP, right? Know your personnel, right? If not, you're butt in trouble as well. So man, again, you got to know what you're doing. You got to do your homework, and that takes relentless focus. So if you have those things, you're gonna be fine. If not, you're going to crumble like a dog like your house built on sand.
Makes sense.
It was a love-hate season. I hated it because the teams I wanted in the playoffs weren't there, but I kind of loved it because I've been one of those people that screamed for a few years we needed some parity, that college football had gotten stale. I don't really like the way it got to it with the portal and NIL going absolutely berserk. I guess the true believer in me believes that over time you're going to see that settle out. I think it already is to some degree. The money's absolutely absurd right now, but that bubble is going to burst. But we got parity, man. I say parity.
It ain't going nowhere.
But yeah, Smoke's shaking his head. It's
just not. It's tough. Too much It's too much currency, man. It's
Two
gonna be tough.
paces out of the bottle.
Yeah,
Petty, not to cut you off, but
No, go for it.
the revenue sharing and the new money deals that they're being signed by these TV companies
Yeah, the TV
to broadcast college football, and what you just saw today, the whole world just sat and watched 4 extra games of college football, meaningless, or if it wasn't competitive or not. The viewership shot through the roof.
Yes.
So you can't.
But that's where the money's at.
Right. So you can't say that the money's absurd when these young people are putting their lives on the line.
I know.
Everyone's benefiting off of their backs except
bro.
them. So when you are doing revenue sharing, the viewership's going up. That means the money's going up.
Right.
So money goes up. There's no end to this. There might be a way of retooling it.
Yeah.
Of now saying, okay, we're gonna give you $30 million instead of $20 million.
Yeah.
But the money's not going down.
Yeah, that's going up.
Yeah.
The money's going
That's
up.
a fact.
Yeah.
I know they're going up. I'm just saying at some point there's got to be a leveling off. But no, and I'm the key one, and Tyrone Prothrow will always be my model of why you guys should get paid. Prothrow will always be that guy's number was all over that stadium. His chance to make money off his God-given gift was taken away that day against Florida.
You can't control the flow of money and how much college players are getting paid unless you unionize. And there's no union coming. So there, even if your AD is saying I'm gonna allocate 75% of the money to $20 million over to football, there's going to be a booster over there, Antonio Carter, say, you know what, ain't nothing but the tide that I'm willing to pay $10 million for this quarterback that's coming in that you can't say nothing about.
Exactly.
So I don't think there's an end to this. I think they're just the way that we structure it might give it a chance to sustain itself. But I hear Nick Saban complaining about it. I've complained about it. But when the coaches' salaries was going from $3 million to 10, from $50 million to 100 to 250, nobody else was complaining about that. And the board of trustees found a way to come up with that.
To Jimbo Fisher get $68,000 a month to 2025 or 26 or something.
To walk away.
And as you guys know firsthand, that coach can up and leave in the middle of the night without so much as telling your ass.
Right.
So why can't the players do the same? Why can't the players now benefit off of their work? And I'm not saying everyone should get paid, but the ones that are doing it, the really good players, they should get, like, I think Caleb Downs should make more money than the defensive coordinator for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Because he's that damn good.
Yeah. And more people are going to show up to watch him play than the defensive coordinator.
Yeah. And that's
him making plays is what's keeping your job.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's no knock on Jim Knowles. I think Jim Knowles is a great human being to begin with, from knowing him as a person, but an outstanding coach. But the player, I think, makes the game.
Well, maybe that's the final takeaway. It's just getting started. The craziness is here to stay, and buckle up and hope your team play. Look, Ohio State showed how to do it. Follow suit.
Get your mind right.
Man, AC, can't thank you enough for joining us.
Appreciate you.
Definitely.
The Herd Vlog podcast, man. You guys, thank y'all so much. Obviously y'all are showing up more on this network, so fans, stay tuned. You're gonna see these too. And I can't thank y'all all enough for being here tonight. You know, it's the end of college football. I guess had to put a bow on this thing, even though our Tide was not in it. Maybe they will be back next year.
The fun is in watching.
Too much Bama in me.
Yes, the fun is in watching. Your team ain't gonna win every year. Just enjoy the journey and just get on the ride.
Yep.
We always looking for championship, baby.
Good luck.
Oh, we're gonna get one soon.
Yeah.
You crazy. Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide, baby.
Too much Bama in me. We finna go get us one.
Good luck.
I'm gonna end it on AC. Let AC just close it out with a Roll Tide and smoke.
Roll Tide. Hey, roll damn Tide. Let's go.
Roll Tide, smoke.
Roll Tide.
See y'all next time.